Ambassador Zethkar adjusted his ceremonial robes as the massive doors of the Galactic Council chambers hissed open. The triangular chamber, carved from a single asteroid and polished to mirror perfection, housed representatives from 47 different species. Today, however, only silence greeted him as he approached the central podium. "Honored Council," Zethkar began, his voice carrying the weight of 1,000 years of diplomatic experience. "I stand before you not as a conqueror, but as a survivor." The Vraxian delegate, her crystalline exoskeleton catching the chamber's ambient light, shifted uncomfortably. "Ambassador, your fleet was the largest ever assembled. 12,000 ships, the combined might of 30 civilizations. How can you speak of survival when you commanded such power?" Zethkar's 4 eyes dimmed with what his species expressed as profound regret. "Because, Counselor Ixara, we ignored the warnings. We ignored what the ancient texts told us about the humans." A ripple of uncomfortable murmurs swept through the chamber. The humans had been known to the galaxy for barely 3 centuries, newcomers by cosmic standards. Their small blue world sat in an unremarkable spiral arm, and their technology lagged behind galactic standards by millennia. Yet something about them had always unsettled the older races. "The warnings were clear," Zethkar continued, accessing his neural implant to project holographic records into the chamber's center. When the Kethmori first encountered them, they noted something disturbing in their initial reports. "These creatures do not surrender when logic dictates defeat. They do not retreat when wisdom demands withdrawal. They fight until death claims them, and sometimes beyond." The projection shifted, showing battle footage from humanity's early colonial conflicts. Ships reduced to burning hulks continued, firing until their reactors went cold. Soldiers with fatal wounds kept advancing until their bodies finally failed them. "We dismissed these as primitive bravado," Zethkar admitted. "We assumed that once they faced true galactic power, they would see reason." The hegemony representative, a towering insectoid creature, clicked disapprovingly. "Your mistake was engaging them at all. The quarantine zone around their space was established for good reason." "Indeed," Zethkar nodded. "But when they're mining, vessels crossed into disputed territory. When their crude warships began patrolling near our trade routes, the Council demanded action. We were tasked with educating them about galactic law." The projection changed again, showing the massive fleet that had assembled at the edge of human space, ships from dozens of worlds, each one capable of sterilizing a planet, weapons that could crack moons, shields that could withstand stellar flares, and AI systems that calculated victory with mathematical certainty. "We sent the standard ultimatum," Zethkar continued. "Withdraw from disputed space, acknowledge galactic authority, submit to council oversight." Their response was peculiar. The chamber fell silent as a recording played, a transmission from the human fleet commander, a scarred woman with steel-gray eyes. "Unknown vessels, this is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Force. You are ordered to withdraw from human space immediately. This is your only warning." Nervous laughter echoed from several delegates. The audacity of a single species challenging the combined might of the galaxy seemed almost comical. "We naturally declined their demand," Zethkar said. "Our fleet numbered 12,000. Theirs, perhaps 300 small vessels. The battle should have lasted minutes." The projection shifted to show the engagement. What followed defied every tactical algorithm, every strategic principle taught in military academies across the galaxy. Human ships, barely a tenth the size of their opponents, swarmed the fleet like angry insects. They ignored conventional formations, diving directly into the heart of the armada. When their shields failed, they rammed enemy vessels. When their weapons were destroyed, they used their ships as projectiles. When their vessels were crippled, they detonated their reactors in proximity to enemy craft. Admiral Chen's ship was the last to fall, Zethkar whispered. Her vessel was nothing but a burning skeleton, life support gone, hull breached in a dozen places. She could have ejected, could have surrendered. Instead, she aimed her dying ship at our flagship and went to ramming speed. The projection showed the final moments. A human dreadnought, wreathed in fire and venting atmosphere, accelerating toward a vessel 50 times its size. The impact split the flagship in half. Of our 12,000 ships, fewer than 4,000 survived, Zethkar announced, his voice barely above a whisper. The humans lost their entire fleet, but they took 8,000 of our finest vessels with them. 8,000 ships, millions of lives, centuries of technological advancement. Gone. Counselor Ixara's crystalline form had gone pale. But surely with such losses they would see reason? Accept terms? Zethkar's laugh held no humor. 3 days later, every human colony in known space transmitted the same message. They played Admiral Chen's final words, broadcast from her burning bridge. Earth stands. Humanity endures. Come if you dare. The chamber erupted in dismayed voices. The implications were staggering, not just the tactical defeat, but the psychological impact. The humans, Zethkar continued once order was restored, possess something we had forgotten in our millennia of civilization. They would rather die on their feet than live on their knees. Every battle we've fought since has proven the same point. They don't fight to win territory or resources. They fight for the right to exist as they choose. He paused, letting his words sink in before delivering his final statement. The quarantine zone remains in effect. No council vessel approaches human space without unanimous authorization, because the Galactic Council learned a fundamental truth that day. There are worse things than defeat in battle. There is facing an enemy who believes death before dishonor isn't just a saying, but a way of life. The chamber fell silent as the implications settled over them like a shroud. Somewhere in the darkness between stars, humanity continued to expand, to grow, to thrive, and the galaxy's mightiest powers gave them a wide berth. After all, they had been warned.